Hi, I'm Euge Valovirta, and this one is about Magnatone's Slash Signature SL-100 100-watt tube amplifier. I wrote a song inspired by this amp, so let's listen that next, and then let's go the amp in more detail, and I will also compare it to my modded 1959 hand-wired Plexi, Jose modded, and my stock JCM800 2203 from 1985. Alright, rock and roll. A little bit noodling. As you can hear, it's classic rock sound, very much like a Marshall, but a little bit different. So there's not that much gain. I had the gain, the high gain setting, and the gain maxed, and even the high gain input. So this is kind of like your JCM800, and if you want, you know, more gain, heavier sound, you need to put an overdrive in front. We're gonna check it out with none other than Boss SD1 also, maybe with a Chief Screamer. So yeah, let's go through the specs first. So it says here, the Magnatone SL-100 was developed with Slash to meet the needs of his identifiable and unique style. Slash began using M80s, one of their Magnatone's amp models, during the Guns N' Roses 23 World Tour. The SL-100 takes it to the next level of tone, gain and headroom that he requires. A quartet of EL34s and 12 AX7s deliver 2 gain modes. Low is voiced like a vintage SL amp, like a Plexi. From the 60s and 70s, high gain mode is designed with a cascaded preamp that has been finely tuned to optimize the sound for Slash guitars. Great tuning master volume, 4-band EQ, yada yada. And the SL412 speaker cabinet is loaded with Celestion V30s that deliver a smooth and creamy break-up and biting upper mids that are hallmarks of rock guitar, and especially Slash's tone. Yes, I agree. So my signal chain is, this is a Gibson Les Paul Standard from '89 with a Slash pickup set, the original. I believe his new pickups, if I've understood correct, are a little bit higher output. So maybe I'm not getting as much gain out of this than I would get with the new Slash pickups or harder pickups. Or, well, I'm certainly not getting, but I'm not sure if Slash's current pickups are harder. But anyway, it's a great rock and roll sound. Rock and roll sound. And what I like about the manual is that it says what frequencies the tone controls actually controls. As you probably know, these are volume controls for certain frequencies. And it says here, let me cheat. Treble controls high frequency response centered around 2K, 2000 Hz. So let's see. Oh yeah, and the signal chain, yeah, it's straight into the amp via my pedal board, but I don't have nothing on. So guitar into the amp and into Mesa Boogie's oversized 4x12 cabinet with V30s, and I'm miking that with SM57 and Royer 121. Really classic setup. So the treble, 2K. Really smooth, even all the way cranked. Cool, yeah, it works great. All the way down, all the way up. Kind of there where it opens, so it's here below 8, like 3 o'clock now. Mid controls mid frequency response centered around 500 Hz. All the way down. All the way up. Where I kind of like to set it is that the less you have, the more the highs comes through, and then when it kind of balances the highs nicely. Around 1 o'clock. Bass. Bass controls low frequency response centered around 60 Hz, which is nice. It's really deep bottom. This is a lot of bottom. I have the bass on 4 now, 11 o'clock. So first down and then up. Those sub kind of things. And if I would only have SM57, you know, if I was only using that, you wouldn't hear those because 57 doesn't pick that low frequencies, at least not much, but the Royer 121 does. It picks up everything from, I think, 20 Hz to 20K. So a lot of bass. Kind of where you start to have it. Yeah, 4. And presence switch, let's see, controls the high frequency response of the power amplifier. This control is effective at frequencies higher than the treble control. Does it say what it is? Let me guess. 5. Presence. 8 decibel range at 5 kilohertz. That was a lucky guess. But it sounded like it wasn't 4, because 4 is harsher. This was a little bit smoother, so 5. Okay, 5 it is. But again, the Q is really wide, because you don't get the spike. It just it almost feels like a kind of high shelf thing, really smooth, almost like a Pultec EQ. When you crank it, but it's not like ear piercing, Kind of like on an unmudded Plexi, non-master volume. Definitely not high gain, and I have the master on 5, so it's pretty loud. I'm attenuating it, so more than I usually have, but I just found it that it was lacking a little bit, like just wanted to have a bit more gain out of it, and since I had this cranked, I needed to rely to power amp gain, so the power tubes are now distorting a little bit, and that also gives it that huge, but controlled low end. Like when it's now only on 4. Okay, then let's check out the gain. So now we are on the high gain. This is controllable via foot switch, but high gain. And then this is kind of high input, this is a low input. So high input, high gain maxed. You kind of get really nice cleanish sounds, and then if we use the low input, then the high gain is basically clean. Cool. Let's put it back to the higher gain input. I think on the manual it says that if you have high output pickups, this might work better. Obviously, depending if you want more gain, then this works better. Really nice, fat and smooth, but not not too smooth. It's kind of aggressive, really well balanced amplifier. Okay, let's check out the low gain. Now the gain is cranked on the low, fairly clean, and I think it cleans up. Let's add chorus. I think I would need to tweak this a little bit different to get the kind of Silver Jubilee clean sound, you know, what Slash is known for, at least was. I think I've seen him live on recent years, and he didn't really have that kind of super clean sound, chorusy clean sound, what he used to have in the 90s on the Euge Illusion tour and probably later. So this is still kind of clean and cleans really nicely, you know, with the volume. Okay, let's go back to the high gain, and then let's compare it first to the JCM800. So again, nothing in front. Let's take the chorus off. Very responsive amp. You kind of need to hit it really hard. Probably you heard when I noodled in the beginning after the song, and in the song that the gain was like when I was playing lead, I was almost like it's could be a little bit more. So I really needed to dig in, which kind of makes you play differently. It makes you play more rock and roll. Anyway, Magnatone, the same riff with the. Let's check out the volume. I raised the volume. Okay, now they're pretty equal level. So the main riff of the song. Okay, like the way I've dialed it is I dial it to work with SD, so there's a bit too much lower and less top. So I added a little bit presence and treble and lowered the bass. So gain wise, I mean they're both, the gain is pretty much maxed on both amps. So the high gain mode is kind of like 800. So if I add a little bit more bottom and less mids, see how close we can get it to my 800. this is more Plexi-like than 800 like 800 is kind of more modern, a little bit more scoop, and even, I mean, I lowered the lows, it's like 1 o'clock at 6, this is now 7, so 800 has a more lows, at least mine. Okay, let's compare it to my modded Plexi. So this is a kind of like Jose mod that my friend Eric Studer did. I did a separate video with, and there's Eric's contacts if you're interested. He's a fantastic amp tech and modder. So let's check out the Plexi first. So this is the Plexi. So this has now way more gain than the original, and it's a master volume, and there's extra preamp stage. So there's 4 preamp tubes like on this one, but this is like there's the added, you know, then the basic, and then the second, and then the phase inverter. This doesn't have a loop, so this basically uses 3 tubes to generate gain, 3 cascading stages. This has had 2. I think I read that 2 are used for kind of gain, then 1 is the phase inverter, and 1 powers the loop. So this has more gain. I mean, it's a little bit over new, the gain. Yeah, clearly the Plexi and the Magnatone, they are more closer to each other than 800 and the Magnatone. And so now the gain is here at noon, here is crank, it's pretty much the same. So this has way more. This is a beast. I hardly use that much because, you know, I have other amps for high gain, but if I want, I can use this on high gain sounds too. Now, okay, back to Magnatone, and now let's see what happens when we boost it with the Bus SD1. It's pretty okay, but let me show you 800. 800 works better with SD. SD1 and JCM800 just for whatever reason works great. But let's try Tube Screamer, because this one doesn't also work that well with SD than like how 800 works. So this actually works better with Tube Screamer. So let's try Tube Screamer in front of the Magnatone. So now it's just the Magnatone, and I engage the Tube Screamer. Yeah, a lot better. The feel is different. Now it's a lot easier to play, there's more sustain and I don't need to work as hard. So this works with the Tube Screamer. I have it now on if the JHS Bonsai, it's on the Keeley modded setting. So you see the settings there from the picture. Tube Screamer off. There's a bit too much lows. So it's like with any amp, if you use overdrive in front that cuts lows like a Tube Screamer or SD, you kind of then need to tweak the amp according to that, and then when you check it out, there's usually too much lows. But how I use usually, because I pretty much use overdrive in front of any amp, so when I kick the overdrive off, I lower the volume from my guitar, which is kind of my clean sound, so there's not that much low. And then let me show you what I'm talking about. So now it's the Magnatone with the Tube Screamer. And all of a sudden the low end is great, because there's not so much gain from your amp. And then if I crank this volume up, I can have a really fat sound. You can do so much with your guitar's volume and tone controls. Speaking of tone control, let's dial a woman tone. Gain max, tone 0, neck pickup. Conclusion. I think it's a great amp. Is it worth the price? Well, I mean, I think this is, at least here in Switzerland, like 4.5k Swiss francs, which is, I think, almost like 5k dollars. But since this is handmade in the US of A, you know, the import taxes and whatnot, I'm sure this is could be a bit cheaper in the States. It's a great amp. It's kind of like your basic Plexi on the low setting, and then high setting is kind of like JCM800 Plexi Silver Jubilee Hybrid, the amps that Slash has been using throughout his career. I like it a lot. This amplifier isn't mine. I borrowed it from Music's. Thanks for letting me borrow this, and this is the only one they have, so I need to return this like tomorrow. So I have spent now a few hours with this one, but based on this great rock and roll cleanish Plexi style JCM800 style sounds, and then if you want more high gain, you'll add the overdrive that you prefer. Right now I preferred more Tube Screamer than SD1. Check out the links from the description below to Music's website and to Magnatone's website, where you can find more info about the amplifier. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you found this interesting, informative. If you like, you know, thumbs up, subscribe, hit the bell, you know that stuff. Until next time, take care, bye.